I'm pregnant. Okay, I just want to sit and take a breather real quick. I've set up a little space for me and Spencer to find out the gender, and I got us a little cake made. So inside of the cake is gonna have like pink or blue icing. Guys, like, I'm not even kidding. Doing something super simple. This is the setup right here. Got the sonogram, and we're just gonna sit, have our cake, and P is inside playing her little heart out. So yeah, whenever he gets home, we're gonna do this, and we'll find out if we're having another girl or a boy. Just very, very nervous, but also super excited because we've always wanted more than one kid. Let me go inside. But we never kind of expected this timeline, I guess. Always just wanted to have like 2 to 3 years in between our first one, but you know, it's all God's timing and we're just embracing it as it comes. I'm terrified to have 2 under the age of 2, but Penelope will be 1 by the time this one comes, and I believe that they will be 16 months apart. So we have time to prepare, so I'm kind of not too nervous about that. What do you think, sis? What do you think? I think she's excited too. Your brother or sister? Oh man. I can't tell. Wait, I think it's blue. It's blue.
Let's go!
It's
Yes! Let's go!
I'm excited. With our second baby, and I couldn't be more excited and nervous at the same time. We wanted to wait until after October to even start talking about trying to have another baby again, and that's mainly because we have a trip to Disney World in October, at the end of October, November kind of deal, and I really wanted to ride some rides. So when I found out I was pregnant, I cried because I couldn't ride any rides at Disney, okay? But besides that, this baby is just gonna be so loved, and I think it truly is just a God story. Let me go back to how it happened. Back when I was breastfeeding Penelope, I was on this all 1 hormone birth control, and it broke my skin out so bad. Like, I had acne underneath the skin. I still have one right here that just won't go away, and it was starting to get all over my chest, my shoulders, my arms, my back, and it just got so bad. So I decided that I was gonna come off of that birth control, wait until I was done breastfeeding Penelope to get back on my regular birth control that I had been taking previously to her being born. And if you didn't know, I have been on like this journey since middle school, really, to get rid of my acne. And I was on, what's it called? I was on Accutane for a year in college. So it's been that far of a journey for me that taking care of my skin is very, very important, and it just helps me feel better. So back to the birth control. When I was done breastfeeding Penelope, I called my doctor and I asked her, hey, can you refill my birth control prescription? And she was like, absolutely, we can get you started on it, but I have to see you first before I can refill it. So I was like, okay, whatever, get me scheduled as soon as you can. Meanwhile, me and Spencer have been very, very protective and cautious. It was around February of this year when I was supposed to go in and see her to get that refilled, and around that time of year is when we get heavy snow. It was a snowstorm. It was so bad they shut their office down, and I couldn't go in on the day of my appointment. So called them the next day, and I was like, hey, I need to reschedule as soon as possible. And they told me that they couldn't get me rescheduled until June 5th. So I was like, June 5th, June 6th, something like that. And I was like, okay, like, whatever, that's fine. So Mother's Day comes around, and then a little bit after that, maybe a few weeks, I don't really know when it was, I had texted hang on, let me just read those receipts so I can tell you. Okay, so it was around like May 19th that I texted Spencer, and I was like, hey, do you remember me telling you that I was on my period last month? Because I was expecting it. Well, it never came, and texted him because I just let him know, like, hey, started my period. Sometimes I'll ask him to pick up some stuff for me on his way home from work. So I just asked him, and he was like, not that I remember. And I normally put it in my phone's calendar, like, started period here, because I was trying to see if my periods were getting regular just postpartum, and they really weren't, so I wasn't like concerned at all. And then I went further back in my calendar to, what's the month before? I went back to April, and I was like, didn't put that in my calendar either. So at that point I texted Spencer, and I was like, well, I may go ahead and just pick up a pregnancy test on my way home from work. And we were still in school at this point, so I was kind of freaking out a little bit just to say that out loud again, like, buy a pregnancy test, because I really didn't want to have kids this close together. I wanted at least 2 years in between them. And this one and Penelope will be, I think, 16 months apart. Not part of the plan at all. So June, I went home that day or the next day, something like that, and got some pregnancy tests, took them, and lo and behold, it was positive, and I was freaking out. I love being a mother, but it just wasn't like the timeline that I expected. So I think that's what really freaked me out the most. And then also knowing how I handled how I was postpartum with Penelope, I did have some depression and anxiety going back to work with her, but overcame all that, and we're here today. She's beautiful, she's fun, she's silly, and I just love being her mom. Look back at it, and I see how much of it was God's timing, because when I called my doctor's office, they were like, yeah, we can get you in like June 9th. It was my OBGYN, and when I called my doctor who was going to give me birth control, I was like, I need to cancel this appointment. But you know, me and Spencer weren't necessarily trying, and I don't say that to brag or to gloat. I just say it as a way to say, like, God has his timing, and it's always going to be perfect. So in hindsight, I see like what a miracle this baby is, because I do know not everybody can have babies, and I do know that a lot of my friends have struggled to get pregnant and grow their families. So I say it in the softest way that I possibly can, that, you know, it was just God's timing. And it wasn't ours, but we are so happy, and this baby is a boy, so he's going to be the first boy in our family on both my side and Spencer's side of the family. So it's exciting. I'm thrilled to grow our family even more. Spencer wanted 2 kids. I always wanted 3 until I got pregnant last year, and I was like, you know, let me see how this one goes, and then we'll decide how many I want. And two's perfect for me, you know. We don't have a name for him yet, but we do have names on a list that we are just marinating on, sitting on, just thinking what's going to be the perfect one for him. He's going to arrive in January of 2026. My due date is January 9th, but I'm going to go ahead and opt to have a C-section again, just because my last birth experience was pretty traumatic and I don't want to go through that again. I really want to have a more positive experience this time, and I trust my doctor so much, and he also agreed, especially having these babies so close together. It's going to be the safest option for me and for the baby. So really excited. So he might be here a little earlier than June 9th. We'll see how the cards roll. If you have any boy name suggestions for us, we just drop them down below. I would love to hear your guys' suggestions. I'm a school teacher, so a lot of names for me, especially boys, they remind me of other students that I've had in the past, and I just want this little boy's name to be so special to us and to our family. So if you have any other questions, maybe I'll do another little sit down chat with you guys. I would love to hear your thoughts, your opinions. I'm going to go ahead and end this here. I've got some banners that I need to get done. I'm just so glad you guys know now, because I've been like holding off on posting videos just because my belly is getting just a little bit bigger. I'm gonna be, what? I am 16 weeks now, so the belly's growing and my clothes aren't really fitting, so I've just been holding off on like filming anything before I told you guys, just because I wanted it to be a surprise. And now that you know, we can get on with life and enjoy just making content for you guys. So yeah, if there's anything that you want to see from me in the future moving forward, just let me know. I had a few comments about teacher stuff, and our school year doesn't start until August 13th for teachers, August 18th for kids. So teacher content will be coming up soon. Just let me know what you want to see. I hope you and yours are doing well, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.